Hi lovelies, in today's video I want to show you these budget-friendly high fiber freezer meals that I've been making for the longest time, and the best part about it is that when I make these meals they last me such a long time. My family loves them and that they're so friendly to the pocket. So this is a collection because I figured that in this day and age, if you like high fiber meals, which are so important, you guys, I cannot stress the importance of having high fiber in our diet right now, and budget friendly, and that's going to just fill our freezer and give us time, this is the video for you. And I want to know which of these is your favorite recipe. So I've been making freezer meals for almost 10 years now, and the thing that I noticed that makes the biggest difference, and you guys, if you watch any of my videos, you know I always say this, I always want to have some type of beans, some type of lentils, some type of vegetarian dish, because one, they're very budget friendly. Like, I can't even begin to explain how far they go when I come for my family. And then the other thing is that it's so important, I've realized, for my family, for our gut health, for our body health, to not just be eating meat every day, breakfast, but lunch, dinner, meat dishes. Our tummies really need all the fiber and the good vitamins and nutrients that we get from lentils and beans. So I always make sure when I make freezer meal dishes that I have as much of these as possible. Preparing the ingredients in advance makes it go way faster. And one thing I like to do also is to, if I'm making beans or lentils, is to soak them beforehand, like soak them the night before. And this helps remove all those toxins, the ones that especially struggle with gases after you've taken this type of high fiber meal. The soaking fast and then pouring out that water the next day before we start boiling makes it go so much faster. I've also had people who say that, let's say if you're boiling your beans, you boil them with a carrot inside, will help to remove that effect of the gases. So that's just some of the prep I do before. Like, check out all my meal prep ingredients, everything is boiled and ready, so that when it comes to cooking, I'm just cooking and going straight for it. I'm starting us off with this delicious bean stew. There are so many types of beans to make, guys. So many types of beans. But my favorite and my husband's favorite is yellow beans, because we heard that they actually called less gas. I don't know if this means that they're missing some type of nutrient, or if they're just still okay just with less gas. I don't know if this means they're GMO. Let me know if you've had yellow beans and what you think about them. But they seem to work for us. When I cook this type of meals, the thing that differentiates them from one another, because I will cook several types of beans or the lentils and everything, is one, the spices that I put inside them, and also the sort of vegetables that I'm adding. As you can see in this one, I'm putting carrot and zucchini or courgette. And then in the spices, I will vary, so that, because I've seen some people have asked that the base seems to be all the same, why don't you just make the base all at once and then you separate the base. But for me, I even like the differences in taste. Like, some I'll put curry powder, in another one I'll put garam masala, in another one I'll just leave plain, so that it doesn't all taste exactly the same. Because as I'm saying, we're having about 3 or 4 of these meals per week. So yeah, we don't want all of them taste the same. I don't know if you're like me. And of course, adding like coconut milk might go way to the next level. Yeah, and those are my beans ready. dish I'm making is a Thai coconut chickpea curry. So we've got coconut milk, colored peppers, onions, this Thai curry paste that I bought at Carrefour. Then I have some lime juice here, brown sugar, garlic ginger paste, soy sauce, salt, and of course chickpeas. The next thing I'm making, these are black beans, some type of black beans. So as you saw, we had already boiled them. Everything was in the fridge. I know people have a sort of love-hate relationship with black beans or jahe because some people love them, some people don't like them, and I think it all comes down to how you cook them. I find that there's a way you cook them, especially if you are generous with the carrot, that also always gives them a type of, there's a sweetness that comes out of it. I mean sweetness, you know. But if they are made by someone who's in a hurry, who's going to put all amounts of water, not enough spices, not enough flavorings, they can be a disappointment. All right, so just check out this recipe that I've used here. I just used a lot of tomatoes for starters, and then I made sure I used stock cube. I'm sorry I didn't show where I was putting the carrots, but the grated carrots, and lots of them, be generous with the carrot, they taste so well. And then don't put too much soup. All right, these ones will keep us going, and we are going to serve them with potatoes. I love them when they are made well. Let me know if you like to bake chahe. So now let's make some lentil, because I think sometimes when we talk about the high fiber vegetarian freezer meals, most of us just normally think of beans and more beans. And as you can see, there are so many types of beans to make, you guys, so many. But then let's not sleep on the lentils. And when I say lentils, it's not just the dengu or the dal. As you can see here, I'm using the yellow lentils, which are so good and which cook so fast. And then also, instead of using water, you can use broth like I'm doing here. I'm using chicken broth that I had after boiling over my chicken, and this, it makes it taste like chicken, you guys. It makes it taste so good. As you can see, it really cooks really fast, and you can serve it with chapatis. And the most important thing I love about these meals is how budget friendly they are. Like, you guys, if you're on a tight budget, you are going to feed your family on a very small amount of money with this meal. Okay, and for more variety, now I am making pumpkin soup. For the freezer, yes, I know these are freezer meals, and trust me when I say you can make pumpkin soup for your freezer. My kids and I love pumpkin soup so much. Let me tell you guys, I think I have pumpkin soup every single day nowadays, especially once I realize how well it is, and I just love how it's just so full of nutrients, so much. I love it. Now, if you want your pumpkin or butternut squash soup to just taste extra good, I like to take this extra step of roasting the butternut in the oven. I just sprinkle some spices. I'll put maybe some coriander, and then I'll put some salt. Make sure I drizzle some oil and just a hint of brown sugar. Caramelizes it so well. You guys, please make sure you try this recipe. So with these types of meals, you can fill your freezer for a very small amount of money. And these are meals, as I'm saying, that could last you for a whole month, even 6 weeks, if you're on a tight budget. And then one thing I like to advise is not to buy, if you can help it, do not buy your beans, your lentils, your ingredients from the supermarket. Just go to the cereals shops, because their prices are so much better, you guys. And sometimes if you have like the number of the phone, the contact of that shop, you can tell them to go to them for you in advance to pick out all the bad ones, so that when you're going, you don't have to go back home and start picking out the bad ones. I know most of us don't like that step of having to go through the bin, remove all the bad ones before we have to wash and soak them. So get their number. Form a relationship with these guys. You will always get the best good looking types of beans and lentils before, if you call them beforehand. All right. So these meals for me, they are so pocket friendly. I cannot stress this enough. I'll put just enough water to cook the potatoes, because when it comes time for blending, I want to use milk, because I want my pumpkin soup to be quite creamy. And I feel like I can now put the pumpkins. Oh, and when you're making butternut soup, you don't have to remove the skin, as you've seen, which of course means that by the time I am roasting it, I have thoroughly made sure that I have washed. I like to scrub it nicely, and because you're going to eat it. Now, this doesn't work for me with the regular pumpkins, because I like the color, like the green ones, because it makes my soup green. I imagine, I've never tried it, but look how delicious this soup looks. You can't even tell that we didn't remove the skin. It is so thick. We're going to be serving this with cheese sandwiches. Love it. You can make your vegetables, like your side dishes, like cabbage, in advance. So I have, of course, to include the side dishes. Of course, these are cabbage, and it can last very well in your freezer. Just steam it with a little bit of oil there, and then put your cabbage, put your carrots. Easy peasy. They will come out of freezer like they went in. Delicious, healthy, full of fiber, full of vitamins. Yum. What I'm making for tonight is matoke, and the matoke I'm making is matoke in peanut sauce, which is mwah. It's been so long since we've had it. So matoke, for those who might not be aware, are green cooking bananas. So I kept this here just to show you. So we've already peeled them and washed them. They're ready for cooking. And then I'm going to use onions, garlic, ginger, 1 cup of peanut butter. Then I have salt, turmeric, cumin seed, and tomatoes. That's it. This cooks very, very fast. fear that your family might not like to eat so much of these vegetable dishes or these vegetarian dishes, let me just encourage you to try out these recipes that I'm showing you today. And by the way, if you want more details on exactly the measurements, what I use, the spices for each, I'm going to put a link. All these recipes, very detailed, are in our website, so don't worry about that, and I'll link down below. The best part about it is that you can print out the recipes, have them like in a folder where you can always reach out and just check everything very fast, very quick, without having to go online all the time. Now, if you feel like they might not enjoy, just try these recipes, because I really also try to make them as tasty as I can for family, because I know my children. I know, trust me, I know them. If I want them to eat these things and to enjoy, because I know they're healthy for them and they're good for our gut, again with all the fiber and all the nutrients, I try to make them as tasty I can. All right, and this matoke dish is just another dish that I'm making that I know they will love. Of course, the peanut butter takes the taste a whole new level. You see, anything you can do to make them taste so much better, please. And that's why you will see me putting milk. Sometimes I will cook with ghee to make it taste better. Sometimes when I'm not going fully vegetarian, I will also add like bacon in there. So it's just about the small bits and bobs that put in there to make your food taste delicious, and your family will love it. Trust me, and your pocket will thank you. All right, check out this matoke. Check this out. Would you not eat this? As I say, there are so many types of beans. You guys, like going back to my history, these are not even the half of them, all right? Now, these are some of my most favorite types of beans to make, all right? Butter beans are not called butter beans for nothing. They are literally so buttery and delicious and just crumble in your mouth when you cook them well. I just put them here as an honorary mention. But by the way, they seem to have disappeared from the market. I don't know if you guys see them anymore. I no longer see them. I know that these ones are on the higher side of the scale when it comes to price-wise, but they're so delicious. Let me know where we can find them. Now, another vegetarian dish that we absolutely love to eat in this house is vegetable fried rice. Now, this is something you need to know to cook because it is a crowd pleaser. I like to cook it for guests. By the way, let me tell you a secret. Like when you have guests and you are not prepared for them, budget-wise or pocket-wise or just even time-wise, this is a fantastic dish to make because it always ends up looking like you've put in so much effort. Well, you really haven't. And the best thing about it is that it also freezes very, very well. As you can see here, I underestimated the size of my pot, so I had to sort of change. Now, I like to put as many vegetables as I can into my vegetable fried rice. And vegetable fried rice works well when you have day-old rice. Like for me, on this day, I didn't have day-old rice. So what I did is I boiled some rice, put it in this baking tray and then put it in the freezer because the most important thing is it needs cold. I needed to flash freeze it. So I didn't let it freeze. I just needed it to be very, very cold. And then once I have fried all my vegetables, I put in the cold rice and then I put in some soy sauce. It always comes out looks so good, like you spent so much time on it and it's chock full of vegetables. Delicious. Now let's talk about geri, okay? Because my ancestors would not be happy if I did not include this in the collection of vegetarian, budget-friendly, high-fiber meals. Because what? I grew up eating geri every day of my life. I love it. Now, we have all agreed that we need to take this food to the next level. We need to make it taste delicious, all right? A tomato base. I will always start all my vegetable dishes with a tomato base. Put as many tomatoes and tomato paste as your heart and your pocket can accommodate, all right? it. And then when it comes to making the githeri itself, I'm not just going to put maize and peas. I'll put potatoes, I will put carrots, I will put roasted peanuts. You guys, I will put everything in my githeri. Always making sure I put some stock cube if I don't have stock. And my kids are starting to come around to this whole idea. Look at how delicious this githeri is. Jam. And to top it all off, I'm just going to show you an example of how I just make my life so much easier, even when it comes to what I'm going to serve these meals with, because I can always also make my chapati dough in advance. And this is what I'm doing here, just showing you so that the day you want to do this, you can also make your accompaniment in advance. We've made rice, now we're making chapati, and I just make the dough and put it in the freezer so that on the day we are cooking, I can remove my bean and then just frost my chapati. And you know, this goes so much faster. When your chapati dough is already made, cooking them is going to take you 30 minutes tops and you are ready to serve your people. So that's what I'm doing here, and it makes my life so much easier, you guys, so much easier. I literally had someone say recently that one of the highest ways to improve your health is to have as much fiber as you can in your diet, especially for your kids also, because you want them to be just having like regular movements every day, and yourself, and just be digesting food well. And that's why I decided to make this collection of all these meals that we need to be cooking in our families, because they're so good for us in so many ways. Let me know which of these was your favorite. Of course, if you want to see just the complete freezer meal collection, not just vegetarian dishes but all the others, I've made so many videos and you can check it out over here. I'll see you over there. Bye.